Have you ever wondered if you can make a bustier top look like a corset top? Stay tuned to the end because this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this look-alike corset top. If you're interested in watching this type of videos, please like my videos, share and subscribe to my channel to enjoy more videos. The first thing you're going to do is to draft a basic bodice. I'm going to be dropping the link of how to draft a basic bodice in this video. After drafting my basic bodice, I measured my underbust height and marked it on the pattern. After marking it, I connected it with my ruler. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to connect my bust point to my dart with a straight line. Then I'm going to measure my bust radius. I'm going to be measuring my bust radius, which I got from measuring my bust points to my underbust. So whatever I got there, I'm going to be measuring it round the bust area. So I'm going to go ahead and connect everything with my marker. After connecting, the next thing I'm going to do is to measure my underbust circumference. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to subtract my actual underbust circumference from the underbust circumference on paper. My underbust circumference on paper is 21. So I'm going to calculate my actual underbust circumference. Now, how do we do that? You are going to first of all get your underbust circumference. My underbust circumference is 31. So I'm going to be adding my ease, which will make it 32. Then I'm going to divide it by 2, which will give us 16. So I'm going to be subtracting 21, which is the one on paper, and the actual underbust circumference, which is going to give us 5. So that 5, I'm going to divide it by 2, and it gave us 2.5. So this 2.5, I'm also going to divide it by 2 again, so which is going to give us 1.25. So that 1.25, I'm going to be measuring it on each side of the dart on the radius. Then I'm going to be connecting it back to my bust point. So after connecting it back to my bust point, I'm going to be using my French curve to connect it with a curved line to my bust point. After doing that, I'm going to be transferring my bust distance from the waist to the hip line. Then I'll connect with a straight line as seen. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to do the same thing for the back. I'm going to measure on the hip line and connect it to the dart leg. This is just to give it an accurate shape. So after doing that, I'm going to be cutting out my pattern. Then I'm going to be connecting it from the underbust difference back to the hip line. I'm going to go ahead and trace out my front bodice block on another paper. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because this is an asymmetric style, so I need a full bodice block. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out as seen. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to place the two front bodice block side by side. Now you have to be extra careful because everything has to align. So you have to be extra careful not to make unnecessary mistakes. While placing them side by side, you need to make sure that they align. Now I'm going to go ahead to measure my upper bust. Now upper bust is the measurement from the nipple from the bust point to the upper part of our bust. Now this is just to get where my curves are going to be. So here I'm going to be remeasuring it. Then I'm going to be measuring the neckline to know how low I want the center of the neckline to be. As you can see here, I'm using a pencil. Yes, it is better to use a pencil so that your pattern will not be rough. So the first thing I did was I first used a pencil to draw out the sweetheart neckline, because it is an asymmetric sweetheart neckline and I want it to draw out a rough sketch first before using my marker. And as you can see, I am closing my shoulder dart, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want it to affect the sweetheart neckline. So as you can see here, I am already drawing the neckline, the sweetheart neckline. As you can see beside me, I have the style beside me, which is very, very important, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing, I'm just copying a style. So if you are copying a style, it is necessary for you to have the style at hand, so that you are making a replica of that style, so that it is going to look exactly like the style, especially if you are making it for a customer or a client. So yeah, after drawing out the sketch, I'm using my French curve to draw out a perfect line. Then I'm using my marker to also draw out the sweetheart neckline. So after doing that, I'm cutting out all the darts. As you can see, I'm cutting out all the darts. So I decided to shape my neckline to give it a wider neck. That is what I'm trying to do here. And as you can see, I'm already cutting it out. To shape my hip. So to do that, I should have done this before cutting out the paper, but thankfully I remembered before separating the paper. So what I'm going to do is, by the side, I'm going to be coming up by 2 inch. I decided to use 3 inch, but please don't go above 3 inch. The 2 or 3 inch is okay. So I'm using 2 inch here, then I'll be using my hip curve to